welcome to Webinar Monday. So you are in the right place. You are with Lulu, and it is a Monday, so we're shaking things up today. Very excited with good reason. So I am joined here with Mike, who is Reuben's handler, I would say. I thought that's an appropriate. That's probably your title, right? Yeah, Mike's Reuben's human.
That's probably as good as anything else. Yeah.
Handler, human, that works.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. So if you don't mind, go ahead and hop in the chat, find the chat, say hello, say where you're from if you'd like, or today's about pet calendars. So do you have a pet? Have you made a calendar for that pet? I have a pet, and I'm embarrassed to say that I have not done that yet for Batman, but hopefully if I do a good job today, I'll convince myself to make one. So we'll see how good I do. So yeah, hop in the chat, say hello. I am going to go over a few tips on calendars and calendar creation on Lulu. And then Mike is going to join me at the end. He's very graciously offered to come on with us and talk about his experience with making calendars for Reuben and what that has been like for him. So a couple of things before we get started. Feel free to drop any questions that you have in the Q&A. We have a chat tab. Oh, Donna from Indianapolis has a bird. Well, birds make beautiful calendars, whether they are pets or in the wild. I've seen some great calendars there. Hi, Gail. Hey, Gail from Florida. So you found the chat. A couple of you found the chat. Thank you, Donna and Gail, for kicking us off. We also have a Q&A only tab. So if you have a question, drop it in the Q&A. And we will grab that at the end. Hey, Lolly. Hey, Lauren. Wow, both from NC. 2 dogs and a cat Rose. All of those animals need calendars. I'll just say it right now. I don't even know you, and I'll say that. All right, Gail has a bulldog too. You're in the right place. All right, awesome. Getting some love from Mike. All right, well, thanks, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. Again, drop the questions in the Q&A. Keep the chat going. I appreciate all of you being here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so we're going to go with a tab. We're going to go with Reuben. I'm going to start the slideshow. And Mike, if you could just let me know if you can see this, then
you're good to go.
Perfect. All right, so we're here to create Pawesome pet calendars with Reuben the Bulldog. It took me years to come up with that title. I know. So just appreciate the puns as they're here. And then Reuben, if you've been to any Lulu webinars in the past, I usually have Business Cat with me today, but today I have a very, very handsome business Reuben the Bulldog. So we'll go ahead and get into it. All right. So if you're not familiar, if you don't know, if you don't recognize this face or you don't know how you landed on this page, I'll tell you, you're here to learn from Lulu about how to make calendars. So Lulu is a real word, believe it or not just a funny thing to say. It means a remarkable person, object, or idea. We were founded in 2002 by Bob Young. Our publishing platform is free to use. We published over 2 million books and paid out over $117 million in author revenues. Staggering number. It trips me up every single time. Our mission is that Lulu is dedicated to making the world a better place, one book at a time, through sustainable practices, innovative print-on-demand products, and a commitment to excellent service. But wait, there's more. We're also a certified B Corp. So I'm always excited to talk about this. I'm especially excited to talk about it this time of year. B Corps are for-profit companies that are certified by the nonprofit B Lab to meet rigorous standards of social and environmental performance, accountability, and transparency. So we're excited to be a part of it. I think we joined in 2017 or 2018. It's a wonderful community of companies who are trying to do a little bit better for the planet. So I always like to plug them, especially this time of year, as we are going about gift giving opportunities that will come up to us in the next couple months. Check out the B Corp community. It's a fantastic way to spend your dollars. All right, so who am I? Chelsea, hello. So I am Chelsea. Here's my pet. His name is Batman. I feel so guilty that I don't have a calendar to share. I have made many calendars on Lulu, but unfortunately, he has never been the star of one. I don't want it to go to his head. I'm not ready to make him as an influencer yet. I'm not as brave as Mike. So maybe after this, we'll test those waters. All right, so we're here to talk about calendars. If you go to Lulu, you can go to create and then pick calendar, and you will be on our calendar landing page. So we are making it as easy as possible for you to put a calendar together. It can be a very fun process. Again, as I said, I've made several and I've enjoyed it every time, but not near as much as the folks who received them. They're even more excited than I am. So it's definitely a wonderful gift, and we're excited to talk to you about how to create those today. So calendars are great. Making a calendar is fantastic, but making a pet calendar, who does not want a calendar of their pet? Nay, tell me, who wouldn't love their pet over a 12-month calendar? Or you could even do 18 months. It's up to you and how much you like that pet. So here are a few examples of some folks who have made calendars on Lulu. The first one, Pitbull Flower Power. This is from Sophie Gammon. She makes these with us every year. She actually told me next year will be her 10-year anniversary of Pitbull Flower Power, but she goes to shelters and takes pictures of pit bulls to try to erase some of the stigma and help them get adopted. So it's a really beautiful calendar with a great mission. The Oreo cat is just a beautiful cat that continues to make calendars with us, and we're always excited to see it. And then this lizard, look at that. You can even make calendars out of lizards. So I know we always think about the cats and the dogs, but what about the lizards? The spectrum is very wide when it comes to pet calendars. Anything that you consider a pet, you can make a calendar out of. I feel like that'll come back to bite me, but bite me, pun intended. I'm crushing it. Okay, so calendars on Lulu. I told you a little bit about how to get to our page to make them, but why would you want to make one? I gave you a couple reasons, but it's a great gift for friends and family, of course. It's so fun to give people calendars. As I said, I gave my mom and dad a calendar. That was really fun. I gave my grandmother a calendar. I think she threw it away, but that's just because she doesn't really do hoarding. She's really low clutter. But I think when I gave it to her, she at least smiled. So I appreciated that. So not only are they a great gift, but you can also raise money or awareness. So calendars can be a great end of your product for you to introduce, to raise money for your brand or your business. But you can also use it to raise money for an organization that is close to your heart. And Mike will be speaking about that in a little bit. And you can also raise awareness for causes that are important to you. So I love this example again from Sophie Gammon. So Pitbull Flower Power. Not only does it help to raise awareness of pit bulls and erase the stigma, but she also helps get them adopted and raises money for shelters. So a very exciting way to see that come together. We've also seen calendars about climate change. There's a really fun one we saw last year that was a comic about climate change and how you can be a better individual for the planet and help combat against these things. So it was a really fun way to help raise awareness about something we're all facing and package it in a really fun and neat way to keep it top of mind all year. Next up, oh my gosh, I'm ahead of myself. A great thing about a calendar is that you stay top of mind with your clients year-round as well. So if you have different functions or events or fundraisers or annual sales or competitions that you would like to help people keep in mind as the year progresses, a calendar is a great way to do that. So maybe you have a challenge that you would like to do and you have January blocked off in your custom calendar where you encourage people to finish a writing sprint or hit their first goal of the year. Or if you are in the nutrition field or anything like that, being able to put reminders of do your grocery shopping, plan your meals for the week. You can create all these custom events so it can be really exciting and, again, customized to you, your business, or your pet. When is your pet's birthday? Slap it on that calendar. All right, so keep clients on track. If you have a program that you want them to be mindful of or aware of, a calendar is a great way to do that. And this provides additional ways for your fans to support you. So if you are sitting at home with a beautiful pet and maybe you already have started some social media accounts for it, creating a calendar is a great way to give them a tangible take home. If they don't have the resources or can't buy prints or you haven't invested in doing things like that yet, then a calendar is a really fun way for them to take a little piece and support you. All right, so some pro tips for calendars. So just for your information, all Lulu calendars are wire-O bound and US letter landscape. So if you are thinking about using a calendar, it's very important to remember you want to use images. And really, this is for calendars, but also for any books that you publish that have images in them. Make sure that the images are 300 DPI or higher for the best quality print. Before publishing, review the preview to ensure all holidays and events uploaded correctly. So in a minute, I'm going to go through a video that we have that's a tutorial of how to create a calendar on Lulu to kind of put all the pieces together for you. But it's really important that once you have everything uploaded, you look at the preview and make sure that, you know, mom's birthday didn't get left out, your anniversary, your dog's birthday, all those really crucial, important dates that we have to remember. You just want to look at the preview and make sure that everything is there and put it in the right place. Once you've done that, order a proof copy before selling or ordering in bulk. Again, this is a pro tip that will apply to any printed material you create on Lulu, anything that you publish in print. You want to order a proof copy and make sure everything looks good and looks the way it should. Obviously, with something like a calendar that has a little bit less content, any errors or anything like that, it's going to be very obvious. So you want to do yourself a favor, order one, make sure it looks perfect. Start early. So again, it's spooky season. I didn't mention this, but I'm wearing my skeleton sweatshirt. So spooky season is upon us. So that means that the holidays, well, this is a holiday month, I guess, but the gift-giving holidays, more traditional gift-giving holidays, are right around the corner. So if you haven't considered making a calendar yet, or you think you'd like to make one, haven't gotten started, go ahead and pencil some time in on your calendar to go ahead and think about the photos that you want to use. Are they the right quality? Are they the right orientation? What do you need to do to get them ready? And then bring them on to Lulu. So at Lulu, we have two paths of creation for your calendar. So we have a calendar creator tool, which I will walk you through momentarily, and then you can upload your own. So for the calendar creator tool, it's so easy because you can literally just drag and drop your photos. You don't have to put files together or anything like that. You just need 12, 13, 14 images, 2 for the cover, and then 12 for the months inside, unless you want to go longer than 12 months, you do you. So that's a really great feature. You just drag and drop. And you can include national holidays and add your own events. So I've said a couple times already, I've made calendars on Lulu. When I made one for my mom, I put in events like, this is that date that you bought my brother a gift and you got me nothing. Or this is that time. So you can have a little bit of fun with it if you want and put in the things that are relevant to you and your audience. So whatever matters to them. I always encourage folks on these webinars to, if you don't already, subscribe to National Day Calendar. It is an incredible a tool, and every single day there's some sort of national holiday or event. So I'm guessing, one of you said you had birds for pets. So there is a bird day. I'm sure there's a pet bird day. And if not, make one. It's your calendar. You can put whatever events you want on it. So it can be a really fun way to engage with your audience and delight the folks who are receiving your calendar. The other way to do this is by uploading your own. So you can go to our calendar template bundle and download that and then create exactly the calendar that you want. So we have specifications and layout guides to ensure everything will look perfect. But this is another way to do it. If you just want to go rogue and do your own thing, do it. Have at it. We encourage you to do that. You can just download the templates and then upload your print PDF when your custom design is complete. So 2 ways to do it. And right now, I'm going to show you one. I'm going to play this and then turn off the audio. I don't know if you could hear that anyway, but Mike, can you still hear me? I want to make sure me turning off that audio didn't. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you. So here, we're just on Lulu. We're creating a calendar. You can see that we went from the home page to create a calendar. We're logging into our account. If you don't have one, please create one. I encourage you. So when you go to select your product type, select calendar. We're going to be printing a calendar, but I will also talk to you about if you choose to publish your calendar, what that might look like and how you can sell it. We're doing eggs 2022. Who doesn't love eggs? I had one today for lunch. So we're going to go to create a calendar here. You can see that we have our time period as well as the month selected. If you are going to go ahead and upload a calendar, you would do this drop down to upload your template. So as I mentioned, 2 paths here, create the calendar or upload. So you can pick where you want it to start, which is another fun customization option. Do all this information of country, region, what events are you adding? I'm glad our videographer zoomed through this, but we do our, that's kind of the typical holidays as well. Then drag and drop. Just upload your images if you have them saved and you're good to go. So it's really quick, very intuitive. You can also move them around. We have a couple different grids available to you as well, depending on what you want. And this is the preview. I'll pause for a second. So this is the preview that we're talking about when I said review the preview. So here is what it's going to look like. So after you put in all your pictures, after we did all the brunch things, we put in all the eggs that we want to look out throughout the year, it's going to upload to the preview file, or I'm sorry, the preview, and you're able to look through that and make sure everything looks good. So you will see her doing that now, rapid fire. I should have said could make you sick if you watch this going this fast. So then you can download your print ready files to make sure everything looks great. So the second option is to upload your own calendar. So again, if you are in that mindset, you don't want to drag and drop, you want something a bit more custom, you can go ahead and download our templates, make your own cover. So here we're going to be walking through that process and how you do that. So again, it really depends on what pathway you want to choose. If you are in it, just to win it and you want to go really quickly, you can drag and drop your photos, or look at all this customization. Boom, moving all around, doing with the thing. You can get to the same end. So it really just depends on what you're looking for, how savvy you are, and what kind of customization you want. All right, so I'm going to skip over this. And then we have our calendar creation guide. So if you need help, if you need a little bit more help than what this video shows, this video is on our YouTube channel. So I would highly recommend you checking it out. We also have another calendar tutorial and a gifts tutorial in general. So this walks you through exactly what the process looks like. So when you go into the wizard, this is exactly what you can expect to see, and you can choose your path. Again, I'm a fan of the drag and drop with the photos, but totally up to you. So when everything is good to go, you can add to cart and purchase your calendar. And look at that. Isn't that an excellent calendar? Nailing it. All right, so I just want to walk you through that. Again, it is on our YouTube channel. You can just go to the creating a calendar tutorial that'll walk you straight through it. It'll also show you where to get our calendar creation guide. We want to make it as easy as possible to access this product set and make something really beautiful ahead of the holidays. And even if you're just making one to keep yourself on track, here is a really good tutorial that's going to show you how to do that. All right, so you create your calendars. I told you why you want to make a calendar. I showed you how to create one on Lulu, but how can you sell them? So again, calendars make great gifts. So maybe you're not in it for the money. Maybe you just want to share some wonderful photos, or, remember a vacation that was great, or do some fun or embarrassing pictures. It's really up to you, whatever you want to include. But if you make something that would appeal to the general public and you'd like to sell it, we have a couple options for you. So you can sell your calendar however you want. So we've got 3 options here for you. You can sell through the Lulu.com bookstore. You can list your book or your calendar on the largest indie bookstore on the internet. Authors keep 80% of all earned revenue from every sale. Or if you'd like, you can order the calendars in bulk. If you have an event to go to, Sophie Gaman, I mentioned her earlier with the Pitbull calendars. She did this recently. She had an event, ordered calendars in bulk, and sold them at the event. So that's always a way you could do it. Or if you have a way to sell through your website, but you're not integrated with an e-commerce or our e-commerce integration, you can hand fulfill orders that way as well. You can also sell through distributors around the world. So you can put your book through a couple of these. I think for calendars, Amazon doesn't fulfill those yet. So if you want to go to some of our retailers, I apologize. Don't do it here. You're not going to go to our distributors with your calendars. But the best news is you can sell them on your own website. So you don't even need those distributors. So if you want to sell your books directly through your own website, you can do that. We have integrations with Shopify as well as WooCommerce. So you can upload your calendars and sell them through your own website and keep more revenue per sale and learn more about your customers. And let's talk more about that. All right, so I think this dog needs his own calendar too. Okay, so why would you want to sell direct? So if you don't want to sell through the Lulu.com bookstore, or you don't want to order in bulk and hand fulfill, then you can sell direct. So a great option for you, and I'll tell you why. It keeps readers on your site. So if you have your own website, you can keep them on your website to order and complete the transaction. That way you collect transactional data, which means you're actually able to see who buys your calendars and who's buying your products. You can earn more revenue per sale. So since you're cutting out the middleman and selling directly, you're earning more per sale of your calendars. You can do white label shipping. So white label capabilities just mean that if you wanted to have your own branding front and center, the labeling on the packages will be yours. So that can be very exciting if you have your own business or brand or want to establish your own imprint. There are a lot of opportunities for customization with this as well. So as you see that people are buying your calendars, you can reach out to them, thank them. How did you hear about me? And get more information that way. Grow your email list. So the email list is so important. If you've been around the Lulu sphere for any amount of time, you've heard us talk about growing your email list. It's a great way to just stay in touch with your customers and grow your business, which also helps you build long-term relationships, which is the next point there. There's a lot of CTA opportunities, which is a call to action opportunity. So when you sell directly, you can say, hey, thanks for buying my calendar. Do you know someone who would benefit from this? Share this link, or here's a coupon for them to purchase the calendar as well. Having a direct sales mechanism also offers a direct line for feedback. So maybe people say, hey, I really like those pictures of your dog in the garden. Do more of those. Or, hey, I saw your cat in the background. Why don't you do more cat pictures? So a lot of opportunities for feedback there. And then it's not susceptible to social media algorithms. So if you have a large following on social media, that is obviously tremendous and a great way to get the word out. But having a way to sell through your website is a really great way to kind of protect yourself around, the algorithm changes or billionaires buying a platform and then making things different. So maybe your content gets buried a little bit. So it's a great way for you to kind of own your audience and create your own little corner of the internet. So there are some great reasons for why you should sell direct, or add that to your lineup of how you're selling your calendar. And now we're ready for the Q&A with Mike and Reuben. All right. So, Mike, I have these pictures on here. So I don't know if you just want to talk over them or how you want to get started.
Oh, you can run through them if you want. I mean, just they're from the calendar from this year. This is our 5th year of doing a calendar with Lulu. And I guess it all does start with the photos. So I guess if there's any tip I give is just have in mind, as you're going throughout your year, setting aside those photos you want for your calendar for next year. Like we just did some photos this past weekend for next year's October, month of October, because the pumpkins are out, the leaves are out, so we had to put the dog out amongst them for the pictures. So just plan ahead so you have that in a file, maybe somewhere on your computer, so that you can just go ahead and pull them down and say, here's 20 or 30 that I set aside. I can start picking through those. And these are just a couple that we added for this year.
Oh, that's such a great tip. I really didn't think that. Yeah, you're not having to stage all these photos in August. Like you can be taking them from the year before.
Yes. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, it's a beach picture, but it's January. It's not going to work out so well, but it's all right. But,
all right. So I will scroll through and then you can tell us what we're looking at.
Sure.
Does that work? All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
But there's the cover, and this was one that we tried to figure out what to do on the front page, but we just wanted to keep it simple with the dog. But also making sure that we had set this up so that we could put the graphics on here as well. So keep that in mind if you didn't want to have that, in case you're not trying to squish them into a photo that you like. You want it on the cover, but may not be conducive to having the size font that you want. So, and I would do a little bit of photography in the past for a hobby. So this was just on a black sheet. So it allowed us to kind of plan ahead for this.
Yes, that's a great tip too. I've never thought, like, when you're taking pictures of your pet, obviously they're front and center, but you have to think this is a calendar. So if you want to add text, move them to the side.
Do it landscape. Don't do it horizontal. That'll come back to bite you later on. You're like, oh, I love this picture. And you're like, oh, it's just not going to format properly. So go horizontal. That's the safer way to go.
That's a really good insight, actually, right out of the gate. Oh, I love this one.
Yeah. So that was this time last year. So just the leaves were out. We got to make before they were all raked up and gone. We made use of them. So he's enjoying himself out there.
Very nice. All right. I feel like Reuben is all of us in this picture.
This is, of course, for January, whenever everyone's intentions of exercise are at their peak. But he just got to the end point sooner than the rest of us did. So again, if you're going to have some props like the headbands or whatever, just have them set aside on or get them ready on Amazon to have them delivered for when you want the photos. But if you do, we thought this was appropriate for January, and just if you could think about, all right, well, flower pictures for when it's sunny out, and snow pictures for when in the wintertime. But I mean, pretty straightforward. People kind of want to see that attachment to the month.
Yeah. So does Reuben like to wear clothes?
Okay, so kind of is the answer, because I was never one of those guys like people who dress up their dogs. Like, that's ridiculous. No, who does that? And apparently I do. I'm that guy. I'm the guy who's doing that right now as we speak. There's some clothes that he actually does like to wear. His Buffalo Bills jersey, he actually likes hanging out on that thing. But some other ones that may be more, headgear oriented, are that some people send to us. Not as big a fan, but it amuses us. So, but we don't torture him with it. We just have him try it out and go from there.
Yeah, you have to say no animals were hurt in the making.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they might be slightly perturbed, but they were very well rewarded with treats for doing this. So, all
right. Well, yeah, I believe that. Speaking of treats, this is a great one.
This was again, having the equipment to do it. It's a drone shot. I don't do too much drone photography, but again, every now and then an idea will strike me. And I said, this is what happens when you live too close to the airport with your dog. So this took a little bit of setup, but I thought this would be a nice little different shot for the calendar.
Yeah, you nailed this perfectly, like the way that Reuben is looking up at the drone at the exact right time. This is a fantastic one. So, and your garden looks great as well. So,
Thank you. I
a little
appreciate
fun
that.
aside. That could be your secondary project is working on your garden.
Right. I'm full of ideas today. I love this.
I know. All right. Well, thank you very much for walking us through that. So I'll leave this one up. I'll just leave this photo up for everyone to ruminate on and ask you some questions. So take me to the beginning. When did you decide to start a social media account for Reuben?
When we had Reuben as a puppy, we uploaded a couple YouTube videos of him, and so relatives could see. And I quickly forgot about it. And about a year later, we got an email from a website, kind of like the Canadian YouTube. It's called Rumble, and they said, "Hey, can we license this video of your cute puppy?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." And they said, "Well, if you want to, upload some more." So we started doing that, and they were all going through the YouTube page. And so eventually, people started watching the videos on the YouTube channel. So I'm like, well, I better change this from my name to the dog's name. And then before you know it, we had enough people watching, and then one of the videos went viral. So I'm like, okay, I guess we can keep doing this. So that's kind of how it went.
It's happening. I know. I didn't realize it was a year later. So it's a long game. So actually, the fame came to you. You didn't seek it out.
Correct. However, having said that, I have learned that it is all about having production so that there is material for people to look at. So I wouldn't sit back and wait for someone to find you. I think my general advice would be to put out content on a regular basis so people can find you, and you never know which one may strike a chord and get popular.
Well, that's a good question, is how do you come up with content? Because I know before we kind of went live, you're saying that, like, when you think a dog, I'm going to make a social media account for a dog. It's like, all right, we'll fetch and then sit. And then where do the ideas come from?
So we couldn't, I'll say this, we would not be able to do this with any other dog that we had. Reuben as a bulldog, he's got more personality, he's more expressive. And I know every pet owner is like, well, my dog does that too. But I think this, for whatever reason, it seems to translate well with Reuben on his videos, and we're able to kind of work around some of his idiosyncrasies and some of his behaviors to make something out of that. But it may be something fun. It may be something about here's kind of the care and feeding of a bulldog, and here's if you have one, what you might want to go, or what you may face or going through. So kind of preparing folks as pet owners. But it's a broad range. But this has become more of my creative outlet. So it's still just to amuse me and my wife and my family as well.
I know it feels like you're having fun out there, but so you create the content, but do you ever look at analytics? I mean, what's your best performing content? Yes. Okay, good.
Yeah, the best video, I think, has about 8 million views. I think overall for the channel, there's 56 million views total. So, we'll put something out. We'll see. Some will hit a little more than others, but we kind of have a rough idea of what each video will be, a week or a month or so down the road. But it's more, we're not really looking for, more views are great, more subscribers are great, more followers are great, but it's really just, we'll try to put out good quality or something that, or at a minimum, something that amuses us, and that hopefully other people will like that as well. Yeah.
And so when you started this journey, when did you decide it's time for a calendar? We got to unleash this thing to the world.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I'm not sure how many subscribers we had at one point, but it was enough to where you're like, wow, people are really following this dog and wanting to know what's going on. And I thought, well, let's harness his powers for good and not evil. And so we came across the idea of a calendar. But I don't remember how we stumbled across Lulu, but when we saw what you guys offered, it was really it was a very easy decision to have to go through you guys to do this, because nobody can kind of offer the total package that you do, to make it a very easy process and also have it hands off. But there was we decided for the first 2 years, this is our 5th year doing this. The first 2 years we did the New Hanover County animal rescue here in town, the Humane Society, excuse me. And then for the last 3 years, we've been doing Bullies to the Rescue, which is a bulldog rescue organization out of just outside of Charlotte. And they cover the Southeast for rescuing and rehabilitating and fostering bulldogs. And they can be very, very expensive for just one dog when you need surgery. So realizing how much they needed help. So we thought we'd direct it that way. And the calendar's done really, really well.
Yeah. Do you have off the top of your head? I know we talked about this or we were emailing about this, but do you know how much you've raised for that organization?
Yes, I looked this morning, and luckily enough, Lulu happens to have an analytics page so that you can go create reports and take a look and see how many calendars you sold, when they sold, what you know. So, including this year's calendars, we've sold about $4,000 worth, or I should say, $4,000 in profit from this year's calendars. So we have total over the 5 years pulled in $31,000 for these nonprofits.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing.
Yeah, so
That's
it's so cool.
Staggering number.
It's so cool, and the very neat thing is that there's people in Australia and New Zealand. I mean, just like they're all over that will, you know, in the UK that will buy these calendars. So having some, you know, international distribution in some countries has been huge, because you just never know where someone's like, oh, hey, can I get that? And so it's been great. It reaches a lot of people through your company.
Yeah, I mean, that's very cool that we are a small part of this operation. Is very, very exciting. But man, $31,000.
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I hope they give you like a plaque. They should give you a free dog.
I don't think I think one's good. I two would be way too much. But and I will say, I want to add this as well, because this was having the ability to, because the Bullies to the Rescue, actually both organizations are nonprofits, and being able to send to Lulu the payment information with their nonprofit designation and their employee ID numbers, the payments go directly to them. So what you never know if you're buying an account from someone's like, yes, it's for charity. Go ahead, yeah, just go ahead and buy for it. It's gonna go to a good cause. Next thing you know, it's going to some crazy person somewhere. That's not the case here, because you guys are sending it directly to the charity, and so I'm not involved with the finances at all, and that's a big plus.
Yeah. For anyone who's listening and thinking about using a calendar again as a tool to raise awareness or raise money, you can put that organization's payment information right into your account, so that, like as Mike said, you don't have to muddy the waters. It'll go straight to them. So, Mike, whenever you first launched the calendar, how was it received? Were people excited? Were they're just like screaming like the Beatles when they saw there's a calendar available?
Oh, there's no question. Yes, it was overwhelming. I think my internet burnt out from the demand. It was modest. I mean, but we had probably maybe 30,000 followers at the time, if that. But I remember saying, let's make this affordable, and it was priced very low, and just had a couple dollars from each calendar going. I think it was like $3.50 from every calendar going to the charity. And then now we bumped it up a little bit, so it's $19.99. I think we've got about $6 or $7 going for each calendar. So it's grown over time, because with the demand is there, but still being an affordable gift for folks, which is. But it's definitely grown every year, and people are looking forward to it, and they can't wait to put it up at work. I get 3. I give one to my grandmother, that kind of stuff. So it's great to hear the stories of people handing these out. It's a nice gift.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when you're reaching that many people, and when you're again, 31,000, that number is just so impressive and really exciting to see that your community came together. And so when you were selling the calendar, did you say in the beginning the proceeds are going to the Bullies to the Rescue, or is that something that came? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's very,
no.
People love that. Yeah.
Yeah, because we want to make sure that was clear, because we do have merchandise, and we always make sure that like the merchandise and the hats and the t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, that's separate from the calendar. The calendar is 100% of the profits are going to these guys. So we always try to if we ever have a sale on merchandise, we keep that separate and try not to mix that with the calendar, just so folks don't get the impression that we're putting the two together.
Everything's above board over there.
Right.
Well, so since you started making calendars, you said this is your 5th year. So what has the experience been like for you overall? I know that you were talking about, planning or shooting things a year in advance. So now when you're walking around with Reuben, is everything a photo op? Are you always thinking like, gotta do it for the gram or the calendar?
It's always a photo op. But every now and then something strikes her, like when my wife will be like, oh, that's for the calendar. And we're like, oh yeah, like that'll stand out. But so yeah, I think just as keep your camera handy at all times. You never know. The more you have it out and available to take pictures, the better off that you're going to you'll catch something. And the get yourself a stockpile of pictures, just so that when you do decide to go put together a calendar, that you're not kind of like, well, maybe this was okay, but I wish I had a better one. Take you've got the best of the best that you can choose. And definitely your point about ordering a proof copy is very important, because that was a reminder this year when I ordered proof copy and realized, oh, I forgot to click all of the holidays this year. So went back and clicked the holidays because that's kind of necessary. So that's a good, very, very point, very well taken this year.
Yeah, I know you get burned one time with that one, and it's like always on the top of your mind. So we try. I mean, I feel like a broken record. I'm like, order approved copy, but we've heard so many stories like that. It's like, oh yeah, I ordered 50, and then I realized, fill in the blank was wrong.
It's true. It's true. And also, when you do take one more photo issue, or just make sure that you're leaving a little bit extra room for the photos, because you can always kind of, if you have a decent enough camera, you can always crop down to make it fit in, but you don't want it being too close and then have the edges bleeding into the picture where you're kind of cutting into part of the image that you want to see. So give yourself a little bit of room to play with when you edit your photos. Yeah.
So do you have any other pro tips? You've given us some really great information so far, but when you're going out taking your pictures, do you usually use your phone? I know you said you have some photography experience. So do you have a real legit camera?
Yeah, I've got the real legit camera. And the last time that we pulled that out for the cover this time, but quite frankly, for being out and about, the iPhone, I mean, the camera's so good now, and the image resolution is so high that you can crop those pretty well and still have them of a high enough quality to have for pictures. And it's really surprising that how well it is. So iPhone, a newer phone is going to do well for you.
Yes, actually it's funny. So my mother-in-law sent me a picture of my cat today and said calendar cat, and it looked like it was like the portrait mode. It was like, wow, I had no idea you're a photographer. That's great. So yeah, the iPhone does wonders.
Yes.
So yeah, and so I'm wondering, for anyone new, so I know you talked a little bit about your journey to pet influencerhood, and it was a little bit kind of different than the way that you think, like, oh, I have a dog, I'm going to start an account for them. But what would you say to anyone who kind of wants to get started with this or thinks they have some content that would do well?
I would say have an idea what you want to put out. Like, don't put out anything that kind of comes to mind, or have a little bit of forethought into it, so that I mean, at least from a video standpoint, so that there's people know what they're going to see something in this particular video. It's not going to be just kind of random shots where they're like, well, what's happening here? So a little bit of structure to your videos would be good, but it doesn't always have to be a lot. It could be very straightforward. It could be very simple. It could be simply, here's a GoPro on my dog walking through like a really beautiful park that we have. I mean, put some nice music to it. People enjoy that. It's a nice break from the noise of the internet that's out there. So I think just have an idea what you want to do and see if you can execute it as well as possible. But it doesn't have to be complex, but post on a regular basis, and whether it's on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever your platform is going to be, just so they can expect to see new items and not go for periods of time where there's nothing on there, because then they're not going to know when to kind of come back and check it out again.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, I know that we were talking about this before we went live, but when you knew, or how did you know that you had something special? You're kind of telling me a little bit about some of the feedback that you got, but talk to me about just what the process has been like. So before we hopped on, Mike said that he was like, I can't believe I'm, a guide, I'm a pet influencer. I was asking, are you the influencer or is Reuben? But I know there's some very serious implications of what you're doing. And so.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And every single day we'll get emails about, thank you so much for putting this stuff out. Like, I have anxiety, I have depression. I used to have a bulldog. This takes me back to memories. Like, you never know what may strike a chord with somebody. And the amount of people that just love watching his videos has been like, I can't believe it. Because like, you love your pet. Like, I love Reuben, and he cracks us up. I mean, we love watching his stuff, but you always wonder, will that translate to other people? And for whatever reason, with the way that we've been able to do this and shoot the videos, it has struck a chord with other folks. So it's meant a lot to other people. And when I think when we had a float, we had an honorary. Reuben was an honorary member of the city of Jacksonville for a float that they had for Veterans Day parade. That's when I was like, what is going on? And it was the coolest thing ever. But it's like, this is my dog. But that's how much he's meant to some people. And by the way, the bulldog is the mascot of the Marine Corps, and they had the Arts Council had these very large bulldogs that they were putting out throughout town. So that was kind of to coincide with that. It worked very well. But it's been cool. It's been very cool.
That is pretty incredible that he was invited to be on a float as part of a parade. I feel like he's achieving milestones that most humans never do.
Right. Right. I can only hope to be as good as my dog.
It keeps you on. It keeps you striving for something, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Well, let me talk to you a little bit about the promotional piece of your calendar. So when you put them out, was there anything extra that you did? And actually, I do have, and I don't know if the audio will work. We can test it out. But I know that you made a pretty mean commercial for this year's calendar.
Yeah.
But for anyone who's making a calendar, and maybe they maybe have a few less followers than you right now, but how are you getting the word out about your calendars?
I think just either at the beginning of a video or at the end of a video, putting in a reminder. I mean, we have now taken this because it's become people have been looking forward to it. We've made dedicated videos about the calendar coming out. You can have an unboxing. We did that the first year. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But I think putting in reminders though to your audience every now and then, so to keep it in the forefront, so that it doesn't slip from their mind, because people intend to do things all the time they never do. And so another general nudge to say, get a call to action to say, hey, let's go ahead and get this ordered, because mom's birthday is coming up or Christmas is coming up. So, but you don't want to be, you don't want to go overboard with it. You don't want to make that the whole thing you're doing, but be reasonable with be judicious with your calendar promotion, but definitely make sure it's out there.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see if we can play your commercial. So I will ask you one last question before we hit roll, and then I will just invite anyone who has questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the Q&A, and we'll pick those up. But is there anything that you wish you knew before you started making your dog famous?
There's always going to be, for lack of better words, some people that are not as nice as others on the internet. Just ignore them and just move on.
That's a great tip. I can't believe they come for the dogs too. I thought that animal social media was a safe space.
Believe me. Oh, believe me. The stuff that they're out there, and they know who they are. Take it easy. Relax, people. It's a dog channel, okay?
That's heartbreaking, but good to know. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, it is still on the internet, so whoever sees it may feel like, hey, I can't even imagine the critiques that your dog could get, but I'm sure you've seen it all. Yeah,
but it's all good.
It's all good. All right, let's see if I'm going to play this, and then you just let me know, Mike, if you can hear the audio. So This is it. I'll give us a little bit of a preface. Obviously, we'll give you another little shout out at the end, but obviously follow Reuben and Mike on all the channels available. This is a commercial that they made for the calendar. And I would encourage everyone to do this, but I was very impressed with this, Mike.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh no, there goes another argument about what calendar are they going to use this year. Aztec? Egyptian? Solar? There's so many options. However, thanks to new scientific advances, you can now put an end to the fights and frustration about knowing what day it is, whether it's at home or the workplace. Thanks to the amazing people at Reuben the Bulldog Industries, you now have your total solution for all your calendar needs hot off the presses with the Reuben the Bulldog 2023 calendar. Some cheap competitors try and take shortcuts with their offerings, but not Reuben the Bulldog. For 2023, But wait, there's more. Oh, it's possible, Reuben. In fact, the Reuben the Bulldog 2023 calendar comes with not only months, but also days, so you can keep track of all your important events. No, it's not, Reuben, because all profits from this year's calendar go to Bullies to the Rescue, a nonprofit bulldog rescue group in the southeastern United States that rescues, rehabilitates, and rehomes bulldogs in need. Each calendar is only $19.99 plus shipping and handling, with some international ordering available. Check out Bullies to the Rescue, find out more about what they do, and order your calendar today at lulu.com. Just search for Reuben the Bulldog or click on the link included in this video description. While we don't take calls, operators are standing by, so order today.
Well done.
I cringe at the Valley Girl.
No, that's my favorite part. That is my favorite part. I laugh so hard when I see that. I think that is amazing and hilarious, and I definitely enjoyed it.
Thank
I
you.
just wish more people would make those commercials, and maybe you should just keep making them, because yeah, I mean,
All right.
we've seen people make book trailers and stuff, and they're good, but I don't think I've LOL'd when seeing a calendar commercial like that before. So I think you did great, and kudos to your
Thank you.
wife, who I imagine was the other lady, and
Yes,
or maybe a voice actor.
she multitasks with me, so it's good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to scroll through and see. Let's see if we have it. Appreciate you guys hopping in. Sorry, Gail, that you're having a bad connection. All right. I think that we must have just totally quit chat for the commercial. So thanks for letting us share that. I didn't know if that would be embarrassing for me to play that with you here, but
no,
I
it's all
enjoyed
good.
it.
It's all good. Happy to show it. It's fun.
You're a good sport. So, Mike, tell us where we can find Reuben, how you can connect and follow and do all of those good things.
Primarily, he's on YouTube, of course, just at Reuben the Bulldog. It's REUBEN, and just like the sandwich, and also on Instagram and a little bit of Twitter, but really, I think Instagram and YouTube are the primary places, and Facebook as well. But YouTube's the place to go.
All right. Well, everyone go follow Mike and follow Reuben and what he's doing. What's next for Reuben? The calendar's out of the way. What's coming down the pipeline?
Desperately seeking an idea for the next video. That's what's going.
All right. Drop everything, all of your good content ideas for Reuben's next video. Drop them in here. So thanks, everyone. I appreciate you all tuning in. We did have one comment. Did you make any money off the calendars, or was everything donated?
No, it was all donated. Didn't touch the money. It all went straight to our organizations.
Amazing. Yes, you can also find the calendar on Lulu.com. If you search for Reuben the Bulldog, help support this organization. Bullies for the Rescue is fantastic. I found myself very close to adopting a bulldog when I scrolled the website, so be careful there. But Mike, thank you so much for using Lulu to create your calendars. Pass our thanks along to Reuben as well. We appreciate that and all the good work you're doing out there for all the bullies. Thanks for spending time with us today.